Hey everyone, this is Pixics in Korea, and I'm your host, John Kim. So, this is a very monumental moment for this channel because it is the very first live stream. I hope to do many more of these in the future. I was thinking maybe every month or so we can do a live stream. But I also have some good news that we have surpassed our milestone. We have surpassed over 100 subscribers for a channel that just started last October. And for any of you guys who are YouTubers, you know how big it is to get your first 100. So I thank everybody who came out to support this very small YouTube channel. And, I just did it. I just went for it. I told myself, I want to be a YouTuber. I want to try to create a channel from nothing and see what the future will hold. So I don't know what's going to happen, but hopefully you guys could be along for the journey. Now, I want to start off this live stream by giving thanks to all those people that came out. So this is shout out time. And there's 2 commenters I have in mind. Shout out to Kareem DI1. He seems to always come out to watch my videos and give me a nice little comment. I actually get a little bit excited. Tiny bit excited. Don't take that the wrong way. But I get a bit excited every time with the anticipation of seeing Kareem's comment. Now here's the thing. Kareem also has a YouTube channel. So I'm gonna give you a little highlight here, Kareem. Kareem DI1 official. So if you happen to be watching this live stream, please check out Kareem DI1 official's channel and show him some love. I listened to some of his music. It's actually pretty good. He sounds like Tiny Tempa. I actually didn't know he was I believe he's from the UK. There's a very nice accent to his rapping. He's a hip hop artist. And I'm not trying to embarrass you here, but he has a love for, I believe this is Blackpink. All right, Kareem, thank you for coming out and giving me your support. Second commenter, I don't want to call them subscribers yet because I don't want to make assumptions, is Zeddy143. Zeddy143. She is not a YouTuber, but does come out and leave nice little comments that makes this all worthwhile. It really motivates me to make more video and make more content. So thank you, both of you, for your support. Okay, so we've come to the part of the video where this is called a Let's Shop. So I wanted to make this format where instead of just listening to my middle-aged, boring Korean voice, maybe you can just come along with me on one of my grocery trips. And this is Pixics in Korea, after all. So why not go shopping at a Korean market? Now, I don't know, maybe watching my videos wasn't clear, but I do not live in Korea. I actually live in America. I'm from Southern California. And because of that, we can't do too much of these live streams from South Korea, unfortunately. But we are here in the LA Orange County region, which has one of the biggest Korean populations in America. So there's plenty of content. I mean, one thing that I do state in my bio section for my channel is this is about Korea and beyond. So let's get started. Okay. Let's get started by shopping at Super One. Super One Mart, Hannam Chain. This market is located out here in Buena Park, California. Buena Park, California is a city in Orange County. And this market is very interesting and peculiar because of its location. It sits right across, believe it or not, right across from two other competing supermarkets. There is the Zion Market, which is directly in front of this place. And then there is H Mart. H Mart is the national giant of Korean supermarkets. But Hannam Chain is the OG of the LA region of Los Angeles County. This is the OG. When I was growing up as a kid, this is the market we went to do our Korean grocery shopping, pretty much. And it still has a place in my heart for as long as I live. And you know, this market goes way back, not this particular one. This Korean market actually has many locations, thus the name chain. It's a chain market. And so the one that I went to was in a city called Norwalk. I believe that Hannam Chain isn't there anymore, but that was my local Hannam Chain. And back then, that market was right next door to the church that my family would go to. And after church, I remember my mom would do her grocery shopping at Hannam Chain. But while I was waiting for her, she got me a piping hot bowl of udon and kimbap. So I still remember every week we would go to Hannam Chain and I would have a nice lunch at their restaurant. And for those who aren't aware of this or haven't been to a Korean market before, many Korean markets actually is actually a shopping destination, because inside you have, and if it's big enough inside, you would actually have full-on stores. You would commonly see clothing, makeup. There would be houseware such as water filtration places inside some of these, jewelry. But one of my favorite is the restaurants. Most Korean markets have restaurants inside. And they're not like, you know, in a lot of American markets, they would probably have like a bakery section, right? Or like a deli section. No. These are legit Korean, like these are legit dishes. The type of food that you probably go to a sit-down restaurant and have someone serve you, right? That's the quality of food that you get at a Korean market, which we will be eating later in this video. But as you can see, this market, you know, we've been here a few times before, and the few times that we've been here, we always went straight to the food court. But I've never actually shopped here for groceries. And so going in, I was blown away, guys. Absolutely blown away by how big it is. California real estate isn't cheap. I don't know if you guys heard, but for a standard, maybe 5,000 square foot home, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, you could pay up to $1 million, depending on location. It's not like that everywhere, but in a lot of places, yeah, you'll be paying that much. And so it's pretty impressive that they have a store that's this large. And the thing is, having a large store also means you gotta have a lot of products. You gotta stock those shelves. And man, that's one thing that this place has. I didn't know it was this big. But it pretty much, from the looks of it, it looks like it can serve all of your Korean food needs. And another thing about this type of grocery establishment is that I don't know if anybody's been to any other ethnic markets, but I've been to one in particular called the 99 Ranch. That's a Chinese market out here in Southern California. I think it might actually be nationwide. It's a pretty big Chinese market. But one thing that I did that will be very apparent if you step inside is that it smells kind of funky. It's not too pleasant. It literally smells like death. I don't know what it is. Maybe that's the vibe they want to go for. But these places, I'm telling you, I mean, it would help, you know, it would help them to maybe put a few air fresheners in there every now and then. But the reason that I mentioned that is because if you come to a Korean market such as this, you'll notice, take a whiff, take a nice strong inhale, and you'll notice it doesn't smell bad. It smells like delicious Korean food. And we're here at the seafood section too. That's how you know that they are selling quality meat out here in Hannam Chain. And for a lot of markets, for that matter. And it was closed up at the time I was here, but man, I love, and our family loves Korean bakeries. You know, there was this one, you would find this commonly in a lot of Korean bakeries, but I just learned this recently. It's called chapsal donuts, which are these donut balls, but they are made out of rice flour and stuffed with red bean paste, and they fry them. And boy, we found this place in Korea called Subong Pyeolmaru Donuts, and they have the best chapsal donut that we've ever had. Because what makes this place so special isn't just the donut itself. I mean, they have the red bean flavor, but what they do differently at this place is they will actually use different fillings. So my favorite filling is actually the cream cheese. They have, of course, cream cheese, you can infuse it with a lot of different types of taste, right? So they had green tea, they had strawberry, and they even had custard. So it's not like your normal chapsal donuts, which is actually one of the great things about Korea, is that they're very experimental with their food. You know those, I don't know, if you're here from America, we have these food trucks. And one of the food trucks, I remember a few years back, one of the food trucks sold something called a tornado potato. So it's this potato that they've made into a spiral shape, and they just skewer it with a stick, kind of like a corn dog. Guess where that came from? Korea. So one of the Korean street foods is a tornado potato. Another street food that my kids absolutely love is their corn dogs. And they don't just serve the standard corn dog, with the corn batter, the sausage in the middle, just put a little stick in it, call it a day. No, they have all different types. They have the potato corn dog, cheese corn dog. It's just, I don't know if there is like how the free market kind of creates innovation. I don't know, maybe Korea is so small. It's such a small country. And there's so much competition for customers. I wonder if that drive creates an environment where they are very inventive and creative with their food. It's a theory. I'm still working on it. But coming back to this market, one of the best things is the frozen food section, because it is a paradise for working parents who just don't have the time to cook 3 meals a day. And you can just get some mandu. You can get all sorts of things in there. I think they even have soups that you can buy in the frozen section, and pretty much make any kind of Korean meal you want at home, probably within 15 minutes, to feed a starving family. Oh yeah, and up there, those tables, actually was thinking of getting one of those. But to be honest, you can't get those anywhere except at a Korean market. I mean, the traditional way of eating in Korea is sitting on the ground. You could order them online, I'm sure, but if you actually want to, feel the quality of it before purchasing one, you got to go to one of these places. It's actually a haven. It's a haven of everything you might want about Korea. Oh, kimchi. Man. The signature dish. I've been doing this thing where, I stay up pretty late. And because of that, I do get hungry at night. But it's, they say it's bad to eat and go to sleep, right? You're going to gain weight. And in some ways that's true, but what I've been doing is we always have some leftover rice after dinner. I'd get that leftover rice, sit down, put it in a bowl, crack open or unscrew the top of one of these buckets of kimchi, and just gorge on kimchi and rice. And it fills me up right before bed. The rice might actually be kind of not good to sleep, eating that and sleeping. But the kimchi, that's probiotics. That is your gut health. And that's something I've been trying to rebuild. Back in the day, I think the antibiotics that I took back in the day kind of messed up with my gut biome. So I've been spending a lot of time trying to rebuild it. And kimchi is definitely on the top of my list to make that happen. And right now, the medical industry actually does say that your entire immunity, not just like 10% or 20%, no, your 100% of your immunity comes from your gut. It comes from your stomach. In American food, one thing that it's really devoid of is probiotic rich food. Where does probiotics come from? Fermentation. There's basically just bacteria. Which Korean food is heavy on that. Tons of fermented all over the place. Pickled this, pickled that. I believe that's why Korean food is considered one of the healthiest foods in the world, because of dishes like, or they will call that a banchan, right? A side dish, because of dishes like kimchi. So for anybody who wants a late night snack and you want to improve your health, take my advice. Grab one of these buckets of kimchi, make some rice, and just gorge. Just feast. That's the thing about me. I don't know. I just feel like it's hard to sleep without a full stomach. I don't know what it is, but I remember, actually, no, not remember, but I, like lately, for some reason, maybe it's my age, but whenever I have a big meal or even a moderate sized meal, I always need to take a nap. I get that food coma. It hits me really hard. And because I'm actually trying to sleep earlier, just because that's another key to good health, is getting rest and getting your body in the right cycle. And so I have been using this method of eating right before bed. Probably not the best. Maybe not recommended for a lot of people, especially people who want to lose weight. But I feel that because I'm using healthy foods to fall asleep, it probably isn't that bad. It probably cancels out, right? And so here I am. I'm just trying to go aisle by aisle so you guys can see what's in this market. And for some reason, I don't know why, but I put up some grocery store videos, not long ones, nothing like this, but I put in some grocery store videos, and I noticed they get pretty good views. Maybe it's what do you guys think it is? Because I think maybe it's because there's people in the area, they just want to know what the market is selling. But for some reason, just me going into a grocery store, filming a few things in there, putting in a video together, like, people like to watch that. So that's why I came up with this idea that, hey, people like to watch grocery videos, Let's Shop videos, so I'm just gonna give them what they want. So hopefully they can find value in this content. Oh yeah, I found this cooking oil. It actually claims to have omega-3, 6, and 9, which I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's really good for your skin and your hair. And that's another thing about cooking oil. You gotta watch out for that too, right? We've actually started cooking with butter, believe it or not. For the longest time, they've been telling us butter is bad for your health. I'm talking about milk, the cream of the milk, like that's churned to turn into butter. Like, they've been telling us ever since I was a little kid, that's bad for your health. And now, smash cut to 2024. Happy New Year's, everybody. Now they're saying that butter's good for you. which I believe it is. I mean, I'm getting into the thought process that whatever is closer to nature is always going to be better for you. Whatever is closer to the source, right? Like the further it gets into the realm of science experiment and a bunch of chemicals that you can't even pronounce, you've gone so far away and you're so removed from nature that my rule is, if I can't pronounce the ingredient, it's not for my family. We're not going to eat that. And here I'm just looking at some jujubes. Jujubes, guys. We are our other besides traveling, we're like a huge traveling family, but besides traveling, another passion of ours is gardening. And guess what? Last year was our very first jujube harvest. So I didn't even know what jujubes really were. I thought they were just weird things that you put in tea. Because I always used to see Asian tea have these, they would just plop in a whole piece of jujube, this dried wrinkled thing, looks like a giant raisin, with the strange texture. Back in the days, I didn't even know what it was. I was like, what's this giant raisin doing in my tea? But guess what, guys? That's called a jujube. And there's actually a tree that grows it, believe it or not. And now that I'm growing jujube, here's another thing. They're basically like mini apples. In fact, they taste sweeter than mini apples. That's why they call it jujube. There's a candy called jujube because if you pick it at just the right time, not too early, but if you pick it just when it's about to turn ripe on the tree, that jujube literally tastes like candy. Very sweet. And you can do a lot of things with it. You can dry it up, right? Like I said, a lot of Korean teas have jujube in it. I believe it's because of the health benefits, but also the taste. It tastes like candy. I was actually surprised. That's how it tastes. Because for the most part, I've always eaten jujubes in the dried form. But fresh, right off the tree, one of the best fruits you can grow. So if you're in a climate that can handle jujubes, I highly recommend you grow one. Oh yeah. Ramen, guys. Okay. In other words, ramyeon, or how Japanese call it, ramen. And here's something we've been doing, and I'll give you a little backstory about this, but we went to Vancouver. We went to Vancouver last year. We're a traveler. So we don't just go to Korea, we go to other countries. We went to Vancouver last year. And one thing that we like to do to save money on our trips is to get an Airbnb. And the Airbnb has to have a kitchen. Okay? So yeah, we cook. When we go on vacations, we cook our own meals. Or specifically, my wife cooks the meals. I'm telling you, she's leveling up, guys. Our house is like a legit Korean restaurant right now. We're making so many different things. I'm having like, I don't know, she made up this, you know what? It's hard to describe it. It's just delicious, okay? But the reason I mentioned that was when we were in Vancouver, because we cook, and the food in Vancouver is actually quite expensive. It's as expensive as LA. And we were craving ramen. So what are we gonna do? You won't believe it. We just got miso paste, made miso broth, and we got one of these packaged noodles that was on the screen earlier, and we just threw that in, put in some veggies, put in some mandu. Man, it's just as good as what you get at the store. and healthier. Because if you've ever looked at the ingredients for those instant ramens, and we used to be a family. We used to be a family that would always have those in stock, especially when you have kids and they get hungry. It's just so easy to boil up a pot and throw in some instant ramen and give them a meal. It's cheap too. Usually these aren't expensive. A lot of college students have primarily lived maybe like 80% of their diet on these instant ramens. It's insane, guys. It's insane. But what's more insane is the ingredients. They are terrible. I mentioned before, we try to avoid anything that we can't pronounce. And that includes a lot of these packaged ramen. And they put in stuff like MSG. MSG is not good for you. But why is it in our food? Right? Is it because the NWO wants to see us all dead? No, it's actually quite simple. It's because you gotta feed all the billions of people on the earth, and only 1% are actually growing the food for the rest of the 99% of the people that live here. So that means you gotta figure out a way to feed all these people that don't grow their own food. So what's the outcome of it? Preservatives. Preservatives to preserve that food for as long as humanly possible, so that everybody can have a meal, 3 meals a day, hopefully. On the earth, we got a lot of people to feed, right? That's probably was the only motive for creating all this food that has such unnatural ingredients. It's just that simple. It's just a commercial decision. But guess what? I believe a lot of our diseases that we have today is because of that. It's because of those chemicals. Right? So why do I mention this? It's because we are coming to a section here that most Korean markets have. The seed section. You got that right, guys. We're gardeners, like I said. This is the place that you can grow your own Korean veggies. They got all the seeds here. And you won't believe how easy it is sometimes. It just literally needs... Actually, most of gardening is in your soil. Like, you got to get that soil chemistry correct. And it has to be catered to whatever plant. And then you throw a seed, give it some water, and it's like unlimited food. We've grown tomatoes that just never stop growing. We have tomato right now in our garden that's been growing since last spring. It's still there. It's still producing tomatoes. Although I do live in California, so our climate is kind of great for year-long growing. We have like a year-round growing season out here. And what I've learned is, we actually just became a serious gardener, maybe about this 2020, right? So one of the things I realized is there are times in the year for certain crops for harvest. So now I'm learning, okay, October is like pomegranate, it's persimmons, and right now January would be a great time to harvest oranges, right? And eating within the season is actually a good thing. Like, you should be eating fruits and veggies that are for that season, right? And another thing I learned was things like kimchi, like Napa cabbage that's used for kimchi. Those actually, you gotta start growing them when it starts getting cold, like in the fall, and then you harvest them either early spring or late winter, right? So it's just interesting, like these foods has a time in the season, right? And Korean people, I'll come back to kimchi. Back in the day, you didn't have refrigerators, and Korea gets pretty hot during the summer. So, without a refrigerator, how did you preserve your food? Well, if you're gonna guess, you have to ferment them, right? This comes back to what I was talking about with probiotics. You ferment that food and just supercharges your gut health, improves your immunity. By the way, we're here at the snack section. This is another great section at any Korean supermarket. The variety, I think that's the first thing you're gonna notice when you go to a snack aisle in a Korean market, is the variety. The absolute insane amount of variety of snacks that you get. I don't know if this has to do with like what I said, it's a small country, there's a lot of competition, so people are just trying to one-up each other on the snacks. But for example, we Koreans have a snack that's very similar to Pockies. And if you know what Pockies are these stick-shaped crackers that's dipped in chocolate. And so, Korea has their own version. They call peppedo sticks. What do you guys like better? Pocki or peppedo? I'm actually going to look into that. Who copied who? Did Koreans copy Japanese and just create their own stick? Pretty much the same product. But anyways, peppedo sticks, guys. How many flavors do you think they have of peppedo sticks? I bet there's over 100 flavors. Do we have any kind of snack in America that even surpasses 10 different flavors? And there it is, a peppedo. That's white chocolate. I can't even think of one. How many different flavors of Snickers are there? Maybe 3 or 4? How many different flavors of M&M? But peppedo alone, and what you see here at this market isn't even close. I believe they have over 100 flavors. I know they have over 100 flavors of Kit Kat. I know they have over 100 flavors of Pocky. I'm sure of that. But right here, just in this aisle alone, you already have more flavors of peppedo sticks, probably, than you have of Snickers or M&Ms. What kind of M&Ms flavors is there really? It's like peanut M&M. There's the plain M&M. There's the almond. I mean, there's really. I mean, they all pretty much taste the same. Like chocolate with shell. Really lazy Americans. You gotta really boost up your snack game. You know, that's amateur league. But Koreans, man, they just love flavor. They love it when there's a specific snack or anything, even mandus, but if there's a specific snack, chips or whatnot, and it just comes in so many different varieties and flavors. I believe there's even a pizza flavor peppedo stick. I gotta double check that. But it's just things that you would not think would be a flavor of a very sweet, delicious treat. Oh, and banana milk, guys. It doesn't just come in banana flavor. Go check it out. But I'll tell you, food in Korea, very experimental. They're on another level. If you've eaten food outside of Korea, like Korean food, and a lot of people love it, you know, a lot of people love Korean barbecue, a lot of people love, I don't know if they know kalguksu as well, but it's Korean barbecue. You know, jjajangmyeon is more of a Korean Chinese dish. But if you think the food tasted good in America, maybe even in Europe, the Korean food, just book a trip to Korea. Just go on Skyscanner or something. Look up some tickets. I actually have a video on how to book a trip to Korea, so you might want to go show that video some love. You know, really would help me out on this channel. But even with that, book that trip. Go to Korea yourself. If there's anything you can do in the next 5 years and you're on this channel because you love Korea, try to book that trip. Make that a 5-year, 10-year goal if possible, if you're financially stable enough to do so. I don't want anybody here taking bad financial advice because some guy online called Pixics told them to use their whole life savings and go into debt to go to Korea to try their food. That would be absolutely horrible for me. So if you have some expendable income and you want to travel somewhere and you love Korea, book that trip and try some of their cuisine. In fact, I'm going to release some videos in the upcoming year about Korean food. Go there, try it out, see how it tastes. I'm not going to just say the Korea is slightly good. I'm going to say it's twice as good. More flavor. The texture is better. I'll give an example. There is a very popular restaurant in a district called Myeongdong in Korea. And if you don't know, Myeongdong is like a touristy shopping district. It's known for street food. And in Myeongdong, they have this place called Myeongdong Kalguksu. Lines out the door. And you would think, hey, that's gonna be like an hour wait, and I'm hungry right now. In fact, I'm hangry. I'm so hungry. Okay, well, good news. Because that line out the door, within 15 minutes, you're sitting down having a meal. You know why? Because they already have the broth pre-boiled. Like just sitting there boiling. They already have the noodles ready to go. So when you sit down at that table, they only have like 3 things on the menu. You can either get kalguksu, you can get mandu, and I think there was something else, right? They only have a few things on the menu. So these items are just ready to go. They're just sitting, waiting for you. And they're not lukewarm, guys. This has been the fastest service I've ever had in my life. We sat down, we ordered, the food came out like 30 seconds later. I could not believe it. And then I took one slurp of that. My mouth just watering just thinking about it. But I took a slurp out of that delicious noodle, kalguksu noodle from Myeongdong, a business that's been in operation since the 1960s, I believe. It's a very old establishment. In Myeongdong, of course, it's called Myeongdong noodles. Kalguksu, I mean. And I'm telling you, that's a Michelin rated restaurant. You don't even pay the price that you would expect for Michelin rated. $10, less than $10. You get this meal. You can feed a family of 5 for 50,000 won. With the conversion rate, that's probably only like 45 something bucks. You don't even have to leave tip. They don't tip in Korea. It's another great thing. Okay, flash forward, and we're in America, and we are craving Myeongdong kalguksu. I just ate a mana that's super hot. But we are craving this Myeongdong kalguksu, right? And I'm telling you guys, I wanted my refund. It was not up to par. It wasn't even close. And guess what? We spent about over $100 on that meal. Something that costs $50 in Korea. So that's just an example of the type of food you can get. Now this mandu here, this was pretty good still. I mean, mandu is one of those foods which is, you would call it dumplings, or sometimes they're known as pot stickers. I don't even know where that name came from. Pot stickers. Like, who came up with that? But this mandu, I mean, those are one of the foods that you can't go wrong. You know, it tastes virtually the same no matter where you eat it. But it's so good. It's like this type of mandu, I think they call it wang mandu, but it's like a soup. It's so watery inside. It's like you're eating soup. Like you're having mandukuk soup, but just the dumplings of the mandukuk soup. And this was our date night too. This is our date night. This is our rare opportunity to be away from the kids and have a nice meal together. And it doesn't look like much, but that combined with the kimbap was enough to fill both of our insatiable bellies, our flat bellies. I'm actually a little bit proud. I'm a middle-aged man and I still got abs, so I feel blessed. Anyways, here's the thing, guys. Korean food in Korea is highly recommended. Well, I mean, I wanted to push this video out a little bit longer, but I actually didn't charge my camera before going to this market. So hopefully 40 something minutes of this video was enough. And because this is the very first live stream, as expected, I do not have too many live viewers. So I think I'm just gonna end this first live stream of Pixics in Korea by showcasing my commenter here, my very active commenter, one of his videos. Maybe we should listen to it. I'll give a reaction, give him some love, some views. Okay, we're back. So the last thing I'll do before signing off for the night. But if you guys ever catch me live on this live stream, definitely feel free to leave me a chat. And I want this to be an opportunity for you to get to know that, I'm an authentic person. I'm just a guy with a dream here, right? A dream of being a YouTuber. So again, I'm very grateful for even the support that I've gotten, and I'm not going to take it for granted. And I'm going to do my best to create content that will bring a little smile to your face. But let's take a look at Kareem DI1's song before we officially sign off. I've already listened to a few. One of my favorites is actually this song called Dance Away. Now, we are a family channel. I don't remember hearing any curse words, but the song sounded pretty good.
I want this song to be something that they can dance to, have fun. That's what this music is. I really feel this the one.
And you know what? It's kind of sounds... His accent actually reminds me of another rapper called Tiny Tempa. I don't know if you guys remember Tiny Tempa.
Looks like you lost another one.
You know I want you. You know I want you. You know I want you. Yeah, you know I want you. You know I want it. Yeah, you know I want you. Yeah. I really am the man. I love you, Nini. Dance away. It's the dirty boy way. Straight vibes and when you all in my face. Till the moonlight fades away.
All right, guys. I'm just going to let this play and it's going to sign us out on this very first live stream. So everybody who's going to watch this post-recording, thank you. Please leave a comment. Please like it. And let me know what you want for the future live streams. All right, Kareem, take us out.
Show me what you've got. Give me and I'm trying to sleep. Just move to this beat until the sun comes up. I want the love I got for me, or just stop. I like them feet, I like them ankles, them legs. Can you see why I pass on a bargain bucket? I want the whole meal. Yeah, not a side piece. Good people deserve world peace. So get them thirsty till they're on their knees. You know I want you. You know I want you. You know I want it, yeah, yeah, you know I want it. You know I want it, yeah, yeah, you know I want it. Yeah, 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 yeah. Dance away, dance away, dance away. It's the Dutchy boy way, straight vibes and when you all in my face. Till the moonlight fades away. I'm too cold.
All right,
to
take
keep
care,
on
guys.
tapping straight to why I'm
This
here
is
with you,
the
'cause
end
you
of the
sweat
live
my way. I'm
stream.
healthy for all these
My name
ones
is
that
John,
want some fun. I
Pixics
just
in
want you to
Korea,
be real, not
and we are
insecure like you're
signing
being nice for a
off.
gun. Show me who you are. I don't need no honey or no rum. I'm a Salvador, the almighty healthy one. Dance away.